This is The Hidden Critique, where we discuss art, race, and higher education at the intersection of an MFA. I'm Marlon Tobias, pronouns he, him.
And I'm Krystle Lemonias, pronouns she, her.
Welcome to our show.
Okay, so once you're now decided on your school choice, you've signed your GA contract, of which, to note, both these schools, that School A and School B, are both unionized. So you're working under a union contract in addition to whatever incentives the department has offered you. You are now, what are your costs to your physical setup? So I know you mentioned a bit about your moving costs and getting here and you figuring out towards your first paycheck. Tell us a little bit about that transition and how you managed it.
Yeah, it was, and especially it was a big challenge for me moving here. Like moving to the US, was a big transition for me. Like my first time on the flight, my first time traveling like abroad, and especially during the pandemic, you could tell like this is, a way was a big move for me personally. Living in a space where there's racial issues, those so many issues, and even then there's the protest of Black Lives Matter, like the COVID-19, like I mentioned earlier on. So I remember my professor, the one who recruited me, we kept on communicating. She kept on encouraging me, everything is going to be okay. You're going to move here, because I remember I had to defer my program because of COVID. So I did defer that. So then she was encouraging me and everything. And you're like, I can also do studio visuals in Ghana. Start brainstorming, start thinking about what you want to do when you come here, because just know that you should have been here, but because of your situation, you're still in Ghana. But why don't you use that as an opportunity to, brainstorm ideas, explore what you want to do and everything. So she helped me a lot. So I started doing that. So moving here, I remember I had to, especially during the pandemic, no one was willing to give me that accommodation. So I first had to lodge in a hotel for I think almost 2 weeks. So I moved up here, I lodged in a hotel for almost 2 weeks. And whilst I was there, I was looking around, getting an apartment, talking to people and everything until when I moved in. So what she did was she came in, she met me, she brought some stuff because I need to buy, all those things, I need to get myself together. And she did help me out, because then I need to get my phone, I need to find my way out within the space, try all those kind of foods and everything. So she came over, she gave me some stuff this is a life, say to be, you're beginning a new life in a new space. So, she helped me a lot, and I was able to move in then, get my stuff moving in. She helped me. She brought some stuff to start up. And then I went to my studio and I did my tour with a the teaching specialist technician. So she took me through the process, he showed my studio and everything. So the accommodation was a bit, and I was lucky to meet nice people who were willing to accept me. Oh yeah, you got a long way to go and you're able to come here. So this is a space. And I remember my first rent was I paid $475, excluding my security deposit. So then my pocket money that I came with, the fiscal cash was $1,000. So you could tell half of the money was gone. You know what I mean? So yes. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to survive? And I know my mom will call me, Gina, are you okay? She normally called me by my surname, my last name. So Are you okay? How is everything going? I didn't want to bother her because, she can't send me money, whilst I'm here. You know what I mean? So yeah. I was like, oh mom, everything is okay. I was just being strong, as a guy. And I was like, everything is okay, but trust me, I was bleeding.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, I was bleeding because one of my culture shock was the bills. I was like, oh my God. Because in Ghana, I need to, in Ghana, we pay bills 1 year in advance. Like we pay everything like 2 years or 1 year in advance. And I'm here paying this money that I can use for a whole year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in Ghana, like $455 can pay my rent for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's just a
the
month
space
here.
and so I'm in a space that I need to pay this money just a month. And you keep on like going back and thinking about that. I was going crazy. Can I make this? But then, like, my first day, like, I realized that half of my money, my pocket money was gone. Like, I would say like 60% of it just for rent. I need to get my phone, pay for phone bills every month. And I know, Krystle, you've been in Ghana, like, you know how the credit is. Like, you need to pay before. But here, you are forced to pay because, like, if not, no one, like, you can't get access to the phone. So I paid all those stuff and I realized that, oh my God, like, I've used 80% of my money. You know what I mean? So I need to get tools for my studio and everything. I remember when I go to my studio, they asked me, Eugene, where are your tools? I just showed them my hand because I went to the studio with my backpack and they were all laughing. They were like, why are you laughing? I mean, I'm a clay artist. I work with clay. And, the principal tool for clay is the hand. And they were like, where are your tools? Because when you go to their studio, they have everything. And I came with just my backpack. So, you could tell. So I have to also like get some tools, from the same pocket money. I had to get tools from that. So I was like, oh, let me just get some, basics, some simple tools that can, help me out, get me going to when I get, start getting my paycheck and everything. And trust me, like, because of the pandemic, I know being an international student, I need to do all this paperwork, the immigration policies, documentation, social security number, and those stuff. And it took 3 whole months for me to get my social security number. And it wasn't their fault because, I mean, it used to be something like, frequent, like you get it, you do it and get it like, at a faster pace. But because of the pandemic, like everything was slow and so those stuff. So it took 3 months for me to get that. So I was working then for free.
For 3 months?
For 3 months.
Wow.
For 3 good months. You know what I mean?
Eugene.
So what I did was the remaining money that was like, I think around, what it was $50. I was using that money for, for food, groceries and this stuff. So lucky for me.
For food?
3 months?
Yeah, for food.
3 months?
For 3 months.
Wow. No, you have to tell me, what did you eat? You're eating.
3 months.
I don't know anything for $50.
Yeah, it was, like, I would say, like, I did squeeze myself, like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to put it, beans? No, I can't. So I got introduced to this food, black beans. And it was already made. Black beans are cheap. So I have, a lot of them in my studio, like, black beans.
Wow.
And stuff. And sometimes I would just eat black beans.
Black beans for 3 months.
Yeah. Sometimes I would just eat black beans for dinner. You know what I mean? And my mom would call me, how is it going? Like, have you get your check yet? And I was like, no, but I'm okay. I'm like, are you sure? You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I'm okay because I didn't want them, I'm living here alone, no family, and I didn't want to like, bother them, like make them feel worried and those stuff. So yeah, and it's cool too. We have pantry, like we have places that you can get food for free. So I checked that online. I was like, oh, okay, free food. So I went there with my student ID and they were like, oh, you can take everything. So, I got sauce from that part too. And I was like, okay, I think I'm good to go. So I borrowed money from my classmates.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, yeah, I mean, I understand. I've been outside the country before. I went to India and it wasn't easy, so I can tell. So just tell me if you need anything.
Wow.
So, she's like, yeah, I feel you, Eugene. I've been to like India before and it wasn't easy at all. So I can imagine you being here without family.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you've been getting your paycheck? I said, no, not yet. Like, still going through the paperwork before they can put me on payroll. So she was like, oh, okay, when you need money, just let me know. So she paid for the 2-month bill. she paid for it. And I was like, yeah, she saved me then. And I was like, yeah, I'm so grateful. So 3 months later, I get my paycheck. So they paid me, the previous month that I'm working, everything. They gave everything to me, including my fellowship. So I was like, oh my God, I'm rich. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, look at me, I'm rich. You know what I mean? So yeah, then I paid her back. I was grateful. I paid everything back, and I started getting things for myself. I started taking care of myself, started getting studio and everything started kicking off bit by bit.
Wow. So go ahead, Marlon. Sorry.
Yeah,
Marlon.
so I know that when Chris, when you and I were in grad school, we had a colleague that was an international student who had to also financially support her family back home. Was that a part of your expenses for you as well?
Oh, yeah. Supporting my family back home.
Yeah.
I know in America, the culture is different. You know what I mean? But in Ghana, there's a saying in Chi that, so, oh, my, a show, do baby, now, unia, obeya kola. So you have to also on our channel. And what I'm trying to say is that, like, your, parents help you or take care of you to a certain point for you to be a better person. And when you get to that point, then they become like kids. So you also have to take care of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's how our culture is. So as far, in my life, sometimes, I do support my mom. I do. Not that, I mean, she's working, she got her own business, she exports, stuff from China and sell them. That's what she has been doing. But she loved the fact that, oh, my son is giving me something. You know what I mean? She loved that, You're like, oh, like I'm a grown woman now. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to take off someone, and now the person is also taking care of me. So time to time, like she would just call me, I just want to spend your money. You know what I mean? I just feel like spending your money. Just send me something. You know what I mean? Like, and I would just give her like, oh, yeah, just take it. You know what I mean? I would just, send her money for her to enjoy life, to live in the moment, to feel good. You know what I mean? So, yeah, personally, right now, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm taking care of my mom or my family. You know what I mean? They just still need to be a student, and she will always be like, oh, I can take care of myself. But sometimes you're like, I want to spend your money today. You know what I mean? So I'll just, I remember recently she saw my picture on WhatsApp because we do communicate on WhatsApp. And she's like, oh, what is wrong with your eyes? Because it's like, your eyes look so small. I know you got small eyes, but the picture that I'm seeing right now, your eyes look too small. And I was like, when I woke up early in the morning, normally when I wake up in the morning and I don't have money, that's how my eyes look. You know what I mean? And she was just laughing. You know what I mean? She was just laughing. Like, you just was like, oh, that was a good one. You know what I mean? So, I mean, but yeah, we do that. I mean, I love to take that responsibility because I feel like it's my responsibility to also take off my family, my mom, my junior brother, like, help him when he needs help. But I wouldn't say that I'm taking care of them.
Beautiful. Okay. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's talk about applying for scholarships and grants and stuff like that. So what prompted you, I mean, considering all of your expenses at this point, and now you have a clear idea of how your money is going out, instead of going out annually, it's going out monthly. So it's, that's raising a little bit of more anxiety. But what prompted you to seek more funding?
That was a good one. Let me also say this in P, and I'll translate it in English. Okay. So there's a saying in my Akan language that and what I'm trying to say is that, like, in life, when you're growing, your expenses also double up. And, and I'm saying that in the art field, not my personal need, but in the art field or what I'm doing as a creative person. You know what I mean? I came to the US and I was doing, I was making, market. I was doing this, small scale pieces, and now it's turning out different than else. Like, I'm blowing up, I'm making big work, like I'm scaling up my work, I'm expanding up, like when it comes to materials and equipment. I'm traveling, you know what I mean? Like, and all, like, there's so much investment going on in my creative process, so I feel like now, like, I thought, my GA could be like, enough for me to like, support what I'm doing as a creative person. But I realized that no, like, I need more in order to like, to keep going with what I'm doing, to keep going with the good work that I'm doing as a creative person. So I realized that no, I need more support. So sometimes like I just want to like, take that opportunity because this is something that I didn't get when I was in Ghana. And that is one thing that I'm grateful for when I moved to the US, because I realized that like it's out there. You just need to put in the effort to get it. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, growing in my creative journey, I realized that I need more funding. Even at this point in my life, I feel like, sometimes you're probably going to be like, oh, you okay. But trust me, you know, after grad school, I'm going to apply for bigger funding.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I will need a studio for myself. I'm going to be doing big projects, so going off on what I said about like when you're growing, your expenses become larger and larger and larger in those stuff. And that's where I am at this point in my life. So I'm always like looking out for opportunities. I'm always looking out for like, places that I'm going to get funding. I'm always writing. I'm always like researching, you know what I mean? Because even like sometimes when you get exhibition and those stuff, you need to strip your own way before they reimburse for you, even though you have that. And, I need my money. I need money to do that. You know what I mean? So even though like probably they're going to support you, you have to do it first before you get reimbursed. So yeah, I'm always looking for extra money, and the journey never ends. Yeah, that was good.
Nice,
Share a
nice.
little bit about your professional. Sorry, Marlon, did I stepped on you?
No,
I
go
thought you
ahead, go
forgot.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Discuss a little bit about the professional practice course that you mentioned you did in your first semester that kind of catapulted your search of funding and the way to go about it.
Yeah, like I said earlier on, like I was interested in the school that help students to become a professional artist and also an educator. So my first year in grad school, and trust me, I learned all these experiences in grad school, how to write for funding, how to apply for exhibition, how to apply for, all those opportunities. I did that in grad school. And one thing that I learned in the class was how to approach people. I learned how to seek for advice because I believe that, artists have this ego. They always, oh no, I'm big. I'm bigger than this person. But for me, I don't mind who the message is from. You know what I mean? As far as it makes sense to me, I just grab it. So my experience with the professional practice. Yeah, my school, like in the class, we did, we learned how to write, to apply for. And one other thing that we did was real life, like we do it. Go out there, apply for exhibitions, you know, residency, and we do it. Real life, and, some people get rejected, like, it was sort of like a practical thing. And also like in the class too, they did invite people, people who are making it out there, guest artists always coming to the class and talk to us, how to make it after school and everything. And lucky for me, I did that in my first semester in grad school. You know what I mean? So I was groomed with that, and, learning that, I started like working through my way out, making those mistakes, my way out in grad school, because I wouldn't want to get down with school and start making those mistakes. So taking that class, open was kind of an eye open for me personally for my creative journey in grad school. So I took off from that, I started like working my way through. applying for residency. And trust me, my first residency, I got rejected. I was like, no. I went back again. I was like, damn, I'm going to do it again. And I did it. I reapplied the same year. I did use different strategy because I was able to, correct my mistakes for my first rejection. And I re-corrected it. And I reapply to different residents, and I go to Watershed Center for Ceramic Art. That was my first year residency. I'm sure you remember Krystle story. And yeah, so I got my first residency from the professional practice class. And along the way, I got my first exhibition through you on Instagram. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I feel like professional practice is like, you don't have to do it in your final year. I feel like it's something that you need to take it right on set when you get to grad school.
Okay. So tell me, did you choose to do it in your first semester, or was it generally something that the school recommends in your first semester?
Yeah, great question. So your first semester, which is your first year, because I came in the second half of the year. So usually it comes in the second half, which is the spring semester. So I came in it was there oh, you need to take this. Oh, it's part of the courses, but you can also choose this over this. So I was looking through it. And so you always have an alternative. Oh, I don't want this. I want to take history. So I want to do this instead of that, or instead of the professional practice. So I read, the mission and vision of the program. And I was like, I want to be this is this is why I'm here. You know what I mean? This is why I'm here and I want to do it. So it was interesting. So I was like, yeah, this is what so I just picked it. I was like, yeah, I want to do this instead of that. And I had colleagues who chose, different program over that because they think, oh, I can do this in my final year. I don't need it. You know what I mean? But for me personally, I realized that this is what I wanted to do, for myself. So I chose it, and boom, I got my website from the class because you have to design a website as an assignment. So I got my website from the class. So you could tell onset in my final year, I was, on the road of becoming a professional artist because I already have my website. And creator approach people, you know what I mean? Yeah, because I did in the class.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you found your first opportunity through Instagram with the show that Chris curated, which was also a class assignment, which is awesome. But what other platforms do you use to find opportunities? And when would you say are the peak times to really start looking for opportunities like scholarships and stuff like that, or funding?
When is the key time? Okay. So,
what other platforms do you use to even just seek them out besides Instagram?
Besides Instagram, but I still want to emphasize on Instagram. Yes, Instagram is a great tool for me because this profit organization and those stuff do share most of the opportunities on Instagram. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do. Take that opportunity and then do my research. And sometimes when you look on when you check people's story, they do share opportunities and do stuff. And also, I also use cafe, online cafe, or that is something that they also have. I can check
cafe.org.
Yeah, cafe.org. They also do have pretty opportunity. So starting off, those were the platform that I used when I was applying or searching for those opportunities, which is exhibitions, residencies, and funding, and all those kind of opportunities. And I also have, I think, AAC, which is also an art platform that has give job opportunities, residencies, and residencies and exhibition and job opportunities. So most of the time to I have friends who normally just share opportunities with you, friends, people that is oh, I've seen this, why don't you check it out? And trust me, when I see them, I don't apply because I have to. I just check it out, oh, this is not my thing. I'll be oh, this is not, even though it's a great opportunity, but I don't want to apply.
Are you referencing the artistcommunities.org?
Yeah.
Got it.
Gotcha. So you
Yeah,
said cafe, which is short for call for entry, right?
yeah,
Callforentry.org. And
yeah.
then the ACE was uh
Artistcommunities.org, which we'll put all these links in our show notes.
Right, right.
okay.
It's from
Yeah,
the Artist Communities Alliance.
Alliance. Yeah, I always get
ACA.
yeah,
ACA, it's
okay,
called.
ACA, yeah, ACA. I always get notification like I subscribe, so boom, okay, you know what I mean. So I do that, and most of the time too, yeah. I just keep track to non-organizations like those programs that they have and this stuff. But normally they also share opportunities on their website and this stuff. So I just subscribe to all those things, and when it comes, like I just get the prompt or notification and hop on that along the way.
Gotcha. Okay. And then have you found like peak time to apply or a time period when is best to take advantage of funding or apply for funding?
Yeah, great, great, great. And I remember I said that is my secret. And
It's
always,
your
like,
secret. Tell us the
yeah, my secret,
secrets.
yeah, people always be like, how do you do it? Because, grad school is a lot. Like, you need to do all those things, like, assignments, like you need to make work, you need to do this, you need to teach and this stuff. But when do you get time to apply? Because I'm sure you do apply to so many things. And I was like, I don't apply things in school when like schools are going, you know what I mean? I have specific schedule that I mean, I've set for myself and be like, but this time I'm going to apply. This is a time for me to apply for the things that I want to do, in the following year. So I have schedule, you know what I mean? So personally, like every year in December is when I do like, I do like sit down and be like, I'm not doing anything else apart from,
Really?
applying. Yeah. Because sometimes like, some of the deadlines probably like, 2 days because I waited till then to that time. So I need more time to do that.
Hmm.
Because
Okay,
sometimes,
so
they open their calls, like the calls normally like get open around the middle of the year or sometime like later in the year, like August and everything. And
mhm.
personally, my schedule is like December. So sometimes like I just have 2 days to just get it done.
So that is the time that you in December, that is the month
In
that you allot towards applying towards everything. So
everything.
I think that is really pivotal for someone like me
Uh-huh.
because I that is something that I struggle with as far as trying to balance putting myself out there and the act of actually making. And sometimes I can get I find myself getting too caught up in the administrative element aspect of
Right.
being an artist as far as applying for things, getting my stuff out there, trying to find
Right.
shows to get in, trying to find
Right.
funding. And I really find sometimes that I'm just so caught up in that I'm not, that I haven't drawn anything or I haven't painted anything. So I
Right.
really think that that's like pivotal to note that with in your schedule, within your annual schedule, you have
Right.
allotted, okay, this is the time that I'm applying at this point, and I'm not doing anything but applying heavily to residencies,
Right.
scholarships,
Right.
grants, and then the rest of the year is dedicated towards making, really. So I think that
Right.
that is very crucial, especially for artists that are trying to kind of technically build their schedule and their
The schedule,
practice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You're
Wonderful,
right.
wonderful. So now that we know that you have this point of your year where it is your pivotal time for applying for most of the opportunities that you are going to embark upon, and you see where the cards fall. Tell us a bit about the support that you received from faculty when you were applying for these grants and scholarships. Like, what did that look like? Was there one-on-one meetings? Did you have a mentor that was working with you? Tell us a little bit about that.
I think personally for me, like I said, I mean, I'm not afraid to seek for help. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or to talk to the right people. So I have a mentor, the professor who recruited me from Ghana. So this is what I do. So, okay, I want to apply to this program or whatever thing that I want to do. So I will just write, and like it's always good to have a third eye and someone that you trust.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, she became like someone that I think, yeah, I can really, trust or like lean on, depend on. Like,
Mhm.
let me put it that way. So, this is what I do is like, so I write my proposal and everything, and I would just send to her and attach a nice email. This is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'll be glad if you take time to review my application for me. You know what I mean? So I'll do that, and she would just look over it. And sometimes she will be like, yeah, I think this is great, but let's meet one on one and talk about it. So she'll come to my
Mm.
studio, open her comment and everything. So what do you think about this? Why this? Why that? Why that? So she'll go through with me in my studio, and be like, she'll go back again and recorrect that. So I always, get that mentorship, and through the process, that's how I also learn. You know what I mean? I also use that opportunity to learn. Like when she's okay, so next time when I'm doing that, I'll make sure I recorrect those mistakes. So yeah, I do, get that one-on-one mentorship when it comes to that. And I remember she was like, "Oh, do you need help with something?" I was like, "I want you to take me through again how to make it after school." Because I'm in a school, I know that I did professional practice for a semester, but I feel like I need more. You know what I mean? But right now, I'm in a space that I'm always learning how to make. And I know that I mean I'm going to do that throughout my like the whole 3 years. But I think I need more professional practice. So can we schedule for meeting for that? So like, yeah, we can do it. So yeah, we did, Zoom meeting, we talked, she told me how to write this, how to, plan, planning and everything, how to make it after school, even your CV or your resume, you know what I mean? Because you're taking out there. So, she taught me how to even organize your CV, your resume, the things to take out and, and like kind of like those stuff. So she taught me how to organize myself, how to, make all those, adjustments, when it comes to my artist statement, my writings and this stuff. But even with that, after all those process, I always go to her for help, like seek for an advice, right? Get my writing and, get a third eye. And she's always my third eye to go through that because, I'm not perfect. Writing is
Mhm.
hard. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I
Yeah.
always, advise people like to just, always get a third eye to go through your paper, especially someone who, got that experience to look
Mhm.
over it because I
Mm.
feel like it's an experience and, they know what the committee wants to see in that writing. So
Mhm.
sometimes, I'll have my writing and it should be like something is missing. Put it there.
Mhm.
They will love to see it. So those kind of like that kind of like, one-on-one mentorship really helped me a lot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because she was the
Mhm.
same person. She was the same person who like, who said to me, Eugene, you need to get into shows. You know, you need to apply, get into shows, get into residency. Do not stay home during summer. So
Mm.
even so with residency, my goal was always get into residency during summer, which is my schedule. Except this summer because of my I'm getting down with school, so I just use this opportunity to focus on my thesis and everything. But every summer I'll make sure I get into residency.
Wow.
Yeah. So every summer, so after school, when I get done with school, that is something that I'm gonna keep doing. That at least every summer, either at least one or more, which is two residencies. I need to do two residencies during summer. So that
Okay.
mentorship really helped me because she was already she's already successful. She's been through. So like for her being my
Share her name,
mentorship,
please.
Anna Calorie Humbeck. Yeah, so she's the mentor. She's my mentor. She's a retired professor now, and she still lives
Mm.
in Gainesville, Florida. Yeah. So yeah, has been my backbone. Let me put it that way.
So tell
And
me,
Yeah.
do all grad students are assigned a mentor each throughout their 3-year program, or is that someone or a process that you asked for?
Everyone, got their own advisor, which is mentor, someone that you can always attend to. So we get that opportunity in my school for that. And also because the program is structured that they need to mentor you, shape you to become like who you want to be. Like everyone is willing to be there, you know what I mean, assist you, help you, shape you to become like who you want to be. So it all depends on you. And then we also have students who are like, oh, I don't need it. I just want to get out of grad school and get through that. You know what I mean? But yeah, everyone is entitled to have that depending on what you want for yourself as a person.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
It seems like you've taken much advantage of that support.
Yeah. Because like I said, everything I said earlier on, concepts, getting to shows and I learned everything here. So everything was new. You're all new to me. Getting that opportunity, like I feel like, oh, this is the time. Like I need to go through it. And sometimes it's hard to combine all this stuff, but you got to push through.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So just to sum everything up, what are the 3 things that you want listeners to take away in order to best apply for scholarships, grants, and just overall funding, and even negotiating a contract that was most competitive for you and your needs from your program?
The best 3 things. Oh, I think one is discipline. For me personally, like what I want people to know, because sometimes like people see just the success, you know what I mean, and they have no idea what went through it, you know what I mean, to get to that point. But I feel like discipline, has been a major thing in my career goal as a creative person. You have to be disciplined to yourself. Like, I want to do this, like on time, schedule, do this, do that. And two, like for me, always, you don't have to be afraid to seek for advice. I've had a studio visit with Grace. She can tell, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't, so always, artists, we have this ego that, like, oh, you don't want to do, I don't want to send my paper to someone to review it. But trust me, sometimes you could like write things and read it over and over. Sometimes whatever thing that you're reading, off here, you might look into the paper and it's not there. You know what I mean? So it's always good to get the third person to look over it for you. So I always tell people always seek for advice. Don't be afraid to, open yourself out to new possibilities. Seek for advice because, it's always helpful to get that third eye and learn how to deal with rejection, because I believe being a creative person and being a professional practice, like a professional artist throughout the journey, like rejection it will definitely be part of you as a creative person. You can't get into everything no matter what you do, because there's so many people out there who are also making good work, who are also pushing their ways. So I feel like we have to learn how to deal with rejection, because when you learn how to deal with rejection, there's no way that you're going to give up. You know what I mean? So these are the 3 things that I want to put out there. Being disciplined, don't be afraid to seek for advice, and also learn how to deal with rejection, because rejection will definitely going to be part of you if you decide to choose this path.
Wonderful. Thank you for all of that. All of those great nuggets that you definitely imparted on us. I learned a lot.
Certainly.
Speaking for myself, I've definitely learned a lot, and learned a lot of definitely tactile things to implement in my studio practice. One of which that I'm just floored with, that's just, definitely opened my eyes, is also just applying in December. Like that, for an artist like me that's like trying to find like the logistical schedule of
Right.
how to organize my schedule and how to make it all make sense, is that definitely empowered me to
Mm-hmm.
to say, okay, it's okay to forego the actual making of studio practice, and this is a great time, this is a pivotal time to implement this portion of the administrative side of being an artist. So I really appreciate that nugget that you shared.
Thank you.
I am most impressed on just how resilient you have been in
Thank you.
pursuing your work from Ghana to here, because I know what it takes to immigrate from another country, coming from Jamaica. My family and I did it together. I can't imagine embarking on that journey alone. So I can just imagine what you went through now, having the support of your family, but having to do it on your own here. It is not a feat for for anyone that is just afraid. So I am so impressed by your resilience and all that you have thus accomplished and what you have to come. I mean, this is the beginning. This is still just the beginning for you. And so I'll always be a cheerleader of yours, supporting you in whatever way I can upon the next parts of your journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. But we want to, definitely, for those that want to continue to follow you and to keep up with you, this is the time to, throw out a shameless plug. How can we follow you?
Thank you very much, Mo. Thank you, Chris, for this great opportunity. Seriously, like I really enjoy sharing this information. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that this is a first platform for me sharing like a professional practice, experience. You know what I mean? I'm really honored. And I know one day I'll go to certain places and it'll be like, yeah, my first podcast was on a hidden critique. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
yes.
yeah, so my Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram, which is Eugene Agyei Art. And same Facebook, my full name, Eugene Agyei, when you see my profile and everything there. But the last thing that I want to add up is, to grad students, is that always know that when you get opportunity to be in such space, like you need to grab it. Like there's no time to waste. For me personally, every semester was like a thesis show for me. Yeah, because I know like people would be like, oh, first year, second year, just experiment, play around. But for me, I was like, no, I'm going to experiment. But at the end of the semester, I want to make something that look like a thesis show. So all my works, all my projects, the works that I've done in grad school, they all look complete. They all look like a project. This is a project done. So that's why I was able to get a job even like whilst I'm in school without using my thesis show. I'm now gonna work on my thesis work. I'm now working on my thesis work. That is something that I want to put it out there. Like just take that opportunity. No time wasting. I know you have to play around, but take it like a thesis show. You don't have to start making the work that you want during your MFA show. You can do it whilst you're in school. So that is my personal advice. You know what I mean?
From the beginning.
From the beginning. So that's my personal advice, because for me, like I said, every semester was like a thesis show for me. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we got a lot of great nuggets from Eugene, and now this is the time of the show where we want to hear from you, the listeners. So join us on Discord, the link found in our show description, to share your thoughts on these two questions. 1, what did additional funding look like for you in grad school? And two, let's share. It's time for you, the listener, to share your nuggets and your resources. So what are some scholarships or grants that you know of that we as artists or as MFAs should look out for? All right, so thank you again, Eugene, for coming on and spending some time with us. That's it for today. And until then, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Eugene. Such a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's keep in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
You always have space to come and visit here. Looking forward to see what that thesis show looks like, because you've surprised us in so many ways already.
Thank you.
And yeah, just keep doing it, man. You're an inspiration. Thank you for listening to our episode. The Hidden Critique is produced and hosted by us, Krystle Lemonias and Marlon Tobias. Episodes are edited by Kirsten Pettifor. Original music composed by Cesar Presa.
If you like the show, you can review and rate this podcast via Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can also like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube page.
For exclusive bonus content, subscribe to our Patreon at The Hidden Critique.
Or join the Hidden Critiques Discord page to engage directly with us, the host, and build community with fellow listeners.